Glenbeck.
I don't know what else to do. For the remainder of the hour, we're going to take this video apart piece by piece, because this one not only involves prostitution, illegal aliens, tax corruption, and fraud, but also an admission of a woman killing her husband. Remember, this is now the 4th city. Let me show you the players again in this video so you understand who we're talking about. James is the filmmaker. This is the guy who comes in and he says, I'm a pimp. This is Hannah. She is playing Eden here. This is a 20-year-old girl. This is a 20-year-old girl. Imagine her walking into your office and saying, hey, I'm a hooker. Don't you reach across the table and say, honey, what are you doing with your life? You've met these two before, but I'm going to introduce you tonight to two new people. This is Teresa. She's an ACORN advisor. And then we have Jim, an ACORN housing guy. But it's not about these people. It's about these people. These are the people that you need to look at. This is Dale Radke. Oh, he embezzled about $1 million from ACORN years ago. They just covered it up. And so he went over to SEIU. Gee, where have I heard SEIU? Oh, I remember. In the Oval Office designing health care with the president. And here's his brother. This is Wade Rathke. He's the founder of ACORN. Oh, he's the real brain behind it. These two, America, how much more do you need? Look at them. They look like they're James Bond band guys. Remember? Remember all the James Bond movies? And you're like, that guy's clearly a bad guy. Hello. Okay. So here we have the pimp and Hannah, who plays the girlfriend. Okay, the prostitute. You met him before. Now we go into another city. We go into another ACORN housing office. This time, James and Hannah try the other side of the country, San Bernardino, California, where they meet Teresa.
Do you know anything about ACORN?
Yes.
Okay, does, yeah.
I do.
Well, we say we're nonpartisan. You know.
No, this does not have to. Well, this has to do with my girlfriend's
Yes.
unique line of work.
Oh, okay. What is it? Is it stripping?
No, it's not.
Is it exotic dancing?
No, it's prostitution.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, is that okay?
It's okay with me.
Okay.
I think it should be totally legalized.
What a surprise. This helpful ACORN employee is just as inclusive as the others in Baltimore, the Washington, D.C. office, and Brooklyn. Open-minded, diverse, tolerant of illegal activities. Oh, it's so refreshing, isn't it? Will this ACORN office also be okay with underage illegal aliens turning tricks that I guess American prostitutes that are underage just aren't willing to turn? We'll just have to wait and see now, won't we?
So you understand where I'm coming from, sort of.
Yeah. You know, a long time ago, myself, although I don't think ACORN knows it, not that I care whether they do or don't, what we called escorts,
Yeah.
you know, and I ran a service.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Heidi Fleiss is my hero. I mean,
who's she? I don't
you know, okay, that she's, let's see, I can't think of anybody, like lately, but a bunch of years ago, a few years ago, Heidi Fleiss was, she ran a call girl service,
Okay.
And she got into some, you know, some really big, prominent people, you know. But she did it for, and made a bundle, you know.
Yeah.
Of course. And and anyway, they finally busted her, like, after a bunch of years. And they tried to put her in prison. You know, I think they actually gave her a little bit of time, but it was nothing.
Yeah.
And she's out and doing it again.
I've heard of her.
Yeah. Yeah. She just, she ran the service, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did.
Mm-hmm. And the plot thickens. Oh, this woman's not only tolerant, she's a kindred spirit of hookerosity. I doubt that Teresa matched her clients on the 29 dimensions of compatibility. I'm guessing there's really only one dimension here, and that's cash. But now Teresa turns career guidance counselor and discovers then that, yes, there are a dozen or so underage El Salvadoran girls that are just going to be exploited.
This is what you want to do. This is the career you want.
Yeah, it's me. I mean, it's been profitable for me in the past, and I don't see why it shouldn't be.
How long have you been doing it?
Since I was 14.
And how old are you?
20.
Okay, so that's some background.
Yeah.
So do you know how you want to run it? If you had a place, if you had a building.
I was thinking, okay, first I'll say that I would maybe want to do it under the cover of a spa.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of home salons and stuff like that. I'm kind of familiar with that in Miami, but I also, the guy that I'm supposed to be working for here just got a shipment of 12 El Salvadorian girls.
Oh, really?
They're between the ages of 12 years old and 15. And if I can, which I think because I do have some sort of relationship with them from the brief time I've come in contact, would like to take them away from him and use them for me, for myself.
How does that man sit there? Are there no decent men anymore? Let me appeal to Democrats. Not the left-wing nut jobs who don't care what, any Democrat or any partisan Democrat, or Democratic political organization does. Just as long as there's a Democrat in every elected office. And don't think I'm throwing the Democrats under the bus without doing the same thing. I can say the same thing about the right. Not the left-wing media who doesn't care about potential radicals in our government. All they just want to do is attack the messenger. I'm talking to you, the reasonable, rational Democrat. My grandparents were Democrats. My family were Democrats. Democrats are no different. We just might disagree on a few policies, but on principles, we agree. You love this country just as much as I do. You love the Constitution and the Founding Fathers just as much as I do. You love your children just as much as I do. You're horrified at the prospect of anyone's child from any country on planet Earth being exploited, abused, and used for some sickening sex trade. You can't think that this is okay. You know that if it were you and this couple came in and walked into your office, you wouldn't sit there. You might sit there for a while. You might say, you know what, hang on just a sec, I got to get a cup of coffee. And you would call the police. You would call the police. You might go back and stall while the police is coming, but you would not enable. You would not encourage. You wouldn't even entertain this madness. This is insanity. This is not about partisan politics. This is about basic human decency and an organization that has gained an enormous amount of clout, influence, and power. And yes, even more power since Obama was elected. Again, this is an organization, ACORN, and others like it, that he said would have a place at the table to help set his agenda.
Before I even get inaugurated, during the transition, we're going to be calling all of you in to help us shape the agenda. We're going to be having meetings all across the country with community organizations so that you have input into the agenda for the next presidency of the United States of America.
How much influence does Dale Rathke from SEIU and Wade Rathke and his organizations of ACORN have with this president? Look, Democrats, I'm not asking you to vote Republican. I'm not asking you to say, yeah, John McCain would have been better. I'm not. I'm not asking you to take back your vote or anything like that. I'm not asking you to support tax cuts or put an I Heart Halliburton sticker on the back of your new Ford F-350 pickup truck with Charlie Daniels blaring from the speakers. We're not asking you to do that. We're not asking you to do that. Sure, we could start with Toby Keith, work our way from there. Sure, one step at a time. There's no need to jump directly from this to NASCAR. I am just asking you this. Please, take a stand. Take a stand. This is clear-cut, unadulterated, taxpayer-funded corruption. You love your children, you love your country just like I do. You must understand that what you've been seeing from ACORN on these tapes this past week isn't compassion, it's corruption. I'm asking you, demand a full investigation from your representatives of everybody. ACORN all the way to the top, everybody in government all the way to the top in your cities and in our nation. And until that corruption is brought under control, we must quarantine Washington, D.C. No legislation must come out of it. And if you're still not convinced, give me the rest of the hour, because you ain't seen nothing yet.